Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video, can adding a Wi-Fi 7 adapter to your PC or laptop actually improve speeds in general if you're still using an older 2.4 or 5 gigahertz network? Now, all of you know that obviously Wi-Fi 7 is a new standard and it supports all the latest features such as 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi and also MLO, or multi-link operation, where it tags together the 2.4, the 5 and the 6 gigahertz bands and basically can combine them all depending on the availability from your router, giving you faster speeds, more consistent downloads and all that kind of good stuff. So a lot of this stuff in today's video comes from this little unit here. Now, this was sent to us ages ago by Andi Archer. Thank you very much, Andi Archer. And this was actually relatively inexpensive from AliExpress, I believe it was at the time. So this is a BE6500 USB Wi-Fi adapter, and you can pick these up for anywhere around the sort of £10 to £40 mark. They do seem to differ in price wildly depending on when and where you're shopping. So I'll put some links in the video description, hopefully to the ones which are the cheaper prices, but normally you can get these for somewhere around the sort of £15 to £20 mark from AliExpress, which I think is actually pretty reasonable for the improvements it can give you. Also, the laptop we've got here, so this is what I've been testing on today. So this is my older HP 255G8, which is a couple of years old now and uses some of the older Wi-Fi technology. So this is actually using a Realtek RTL8822CE, which is an 802.11AC adapter in a PCI Express format, or like a PCIe card, which is inside the laptop. Very common, very popular, lots of laptops use them. And I do find that my laptop, it's fine for Wi-Fi in general, but it does seem a little bit slower compared with what I'm actually paying for from my provider and from what I know that my router can actually achieve. So I thought I'd do some tests to see, actually does adding a USB adapter make any significant difference? And this one actually is really good due to the fact that it actually has an integrated antenna, which in its normal form, it looks rather compact, but it has got these Wi-Fi antenna, which you can open up and adjust however you see fit. So if you're in a PC, you may want the antennas to be up and down. If it's in a laptop, you might want it to be far out, etc. But yeah, overall, it's a really good device and seems to do a very good job. So I've got some spreadsheets and I've also got some charts for us to look at, and we can go through the data just to prove that this can make your browsing and internet experience much better, even if you don't have a Wi-Fi 7 router. So the first slide we've got here, we're doing a simple test. So this is the integrated Wi-Fi in here, which is effectively Wi-Fi 5 against the Wi-Fi 7 adapter. Simple speed test done using one of the easy to use Windows speed testing tools, which you can get from the Microsoft Store if you want to play along at home. So you can see here, test number 1, using our Churchill Wi-Fi network, which is on a 5G signal, and you can see the speeds we're getting there. So with the slower, older device, there's 3 runs we did. So we got 416.31, 531.29 and 518.08. So not bad, but could certainly be better. And when it comes to the upload speeds, all around about 100 megabits, which is basically capping out our system. Then installing the Realtek RTL8912AU, which is an 802.11BE USB device on exactly the same network with exactly the same computer. The speed tests are 734.10, 829.93, 782.92, so much faster downloads. But also what we're finding is the actual ping time is a little bit lower. Not a great deal, but there is a little bit lower ping time. So initially with this test, obviously you can see that installing one of these does improve it by somewhere around the sort of 60% mark if you're looking at it as an average. Now obviously you do loads more tests and move it around, that will fluctuate here, there and everywhere. So I deliberately did 3 tests on each one in the same exact position to try and get a relatively stable result. So definitely if you are having an older unit with older Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi 5 or AC, or maybe even AX, then getting one of these can improve your broadband performance. So now let's take a look at what happens when we actually switch over and start using the 6 gigahertz band on its own with this particular device. So now we're on test number 2 and we're using the Churchill 6G signal. And as you can see, the actual speeds aren't particularly great. We've got 434.64, we've got 528.96 and 629.96. So a little bit better than our old laptop connectivity, but not quite as good as it was just using the multiple bands, so 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. Seems that with 6 gigahertz, there was possibly some interference, so we weren't getting the full throughput of this device. When it came to the ping times, again, roughly the same, around about 18, 19, 18 we were getting, whereas previously we were getting sort of 15, 16, 20, 21, 22, etc. So very similar in terms of ping response time, but the speeds were certainly lower. When it comes to upload, again, we are capped by our actual broadband, so 100 megabits pretty much all the time consistently. So for our final test is actually activating something which you may or may not have enabled on your router, but something which actually, if you do decide at a later date to get a Wi-Fi 7 router, you can enable something called MLO, or multi-link operation. So what this will do is it will actually take your 2.4 gigahertz, your 5 gigahertz and your 6 gigahertz signals and allow the device to connect on all three bands at the same time, or connect to whichever one is actually the strongest. With the actual signals themselves, so they do have different pros and cons. 2.4 gigahertz has a very long range signal, but is relatively slow speeds. 5 gigahertz gives you less range, but a little bit faster speeds. And 6 gigahertz is essentially the same as 5 gigahertz, but it has a slightly longer range, but also it does require your router to actually have 6 gigahertz compatibility. Also, you will find that because of the congested nature of networks in Wi-Fi, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz are very, very saturated. So if you have got a Wi-Fi adapter and also a Wi-Fi router which supports 6 gigahertz, potentially you can avoid some of that interference and get better speeds. Now in this particular instance, in our location, we didn't quite get that. But when it comes to MLO, where we can combine all of them together, let's look at the results for that. So with the MLO, we're connected to the Churchill MLO network, which again is combining 2.4, 5 and 6 gigahertz bands. And we got the best ping time, which was in test 2 of 14 milliseconds. So that's pretty good. So we've got 14, 15 and 18. And when it comes to speeds, we got the best so far. So we got 843.71, 836.32, 847.22. And in terms of uploads, again, we are capped by what our system will actually allow us to. So we're basically getting the full speeds there on the uploads, but certainly the downloads, significantly better. A little bit better than what we got from any of the others. So ultimately, if you can afford to have a new Wi-Fi 7 router with MLO, and you've got the devices to actually use it with, you'll get the best of all worlds. However, if you have a older 2.4 and 5 gigahertz router, but you're finding some of your speeds aren't particularly stellar, it might be worth still getting a Wi-Fi 7 adapter just to get the newer technology and get better speeds even with that older technology. So there you go. Hopefully some of this has made sense to you. If it has, let me know in the comments section by giving me a like, or just let me know your experience, or is it something which you've not really considered? Have you thought that if you have an old router and an old laptop, that is kind of it for you? Well, hopefully, if you can get yourself a decent Wi-Fi 7 adapter, you may improve things without having to spend an absolute fortune. Anyway, that's going to wrap this video up. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, smash the like button. If you want to see more content like this on a daily basis, maybe consider hitting subscribe. And if you do that, don't forget to hit the all notifications. That way you'll be notified of future video releases. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.